Yoshie Shiratori was born in Amari, Japan, and in 1938 he was framed for robbery and murder. He was sent to Amari prison. There the guards treated him very badly. The Japanese justice system were looking to seek the death penalty on him. This is when Yoshie started planning his escape. He watched the guards' routine. He smuggled a wire from the bathhouse he would then use to pick the lock of his cell. It took around 6 minutes to pick, but eventually he got through. Yoshie still had to leave the search area, but he stalled time by putting wood planks in his bed, acting as a decoy. By the time the guards found out, Yoshie was long gone. He wasn't done yet, though. There were still plenty of doors to unlock before he was free, but after all of the doors, he still wasn't 100% free. 3 days later, he was caught stealing from a hospital and he was back in prison. After this attempt, he was sentenced to life. 6 years later, in 1946, in the middle of World War II, Yoshie was transferred to Akita prison, and the guards treated him even worse here. After Yoshie's previous attempts at escape, they wanted to make an example of him. They made him do hard labor and beat him. They made him sleep on the cold concrete floor and put him in solitary confinement. It was cramped and had a very high ceiling. The only light was from a skylight above him. He knew he had to get out of the cuffs. When he did that, he climbed the wall and loosened the skylight little by little each day until he got it open. On a stormy night, he escaped Akita prison, and 3 months later, he was caught by a guard named Kobayashi, and he was sent to another prison called Abashini prison. He was put in a steel cell that wasn't easy to rot. He had special cuffs on his legs and hands. They could only be taken off by professionals. He put the miso soup that they gave him from commissary and he splashed them on the cuffs and leg cuffs so that they would wear down. Then he put the miso soup on the bars of his cell so that they would wear down as well. And he got the bars off and he escaped. A little while after that, he escaped and killed a farmer in self-defense. After the incident, he was placed on death row and a 24-hour surveillance. The guards checked on him every night when he was in the bathhouse. They checked on his room every night when he was in the bathhouse to check if he was trying to escape or not. He looked around, up and down, to try and find an escape route. He looked up all the time, but that was just a part of his plan. The guards were so fixated on looking upwards because that's what he was doing. They tried to look for an escape plan that he was trying to plot upwards. A police officer sat next to him and didn't know who he was. And he offered Yoshie a cigarette. Back then, they were very expensive, so Yoshie cried because law enforcement had been very cruel to him his entire life. Yoshie turned himself in and got recognized. And the justice system recognized his self-defense accusation and got let out on after 14 years on parole. He was sentenced to 20 years and got let out after 14 years on parole. After that, he was truly a free man.